Thank you, Imam Sani. I know you were in very important meetings with the Farmers Association and Herders Association in Zamfara, but I wondered if you could first explain a little bit about your role in the Protecting Our Communities initiative and what you do. I know you're a religious leader liaison, but you have been involved since the beginning of the project, and I think that there is a lot that you do. So how would you describe your role and your work?
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. The way I see my role is like multi-dimensional, in the sense that when it comes to connecting to the traditional leaders, I am there and I can do it because I have a good connection with the traditional leaders in northern Nigeria, starting from the Sultan, which is the highest, the highest seat of chiefs and emirs and traditional leaders in our side. When it comes to connections with religious leaders, I am well connected. I'm not praising myself, but that is what I know in reality, that I'm well connected when it comes to connecting to religious leaders, both Christians and Muslim, which is the predominant religion in Nigeria, Christianity and Islam. So I play that role in POCI, that is Protecting Our Community Initiatives. I play that role. So when we go to a traditional ruler like in Zamfara state, when I talk, they will hear the ruler saying, yeah, this is Imam Sani. He went to the same school as my younger brother or my senior brother. This is Imam Sani. We used to pray in his mosque. The emir will be telling them this in Zamfara state. So also in Karuna state. I am also being somebody who is in the field of conflict transformation from 1995 to date, and who worked in Zamfara state, and not only Zamfara, in the northern states. You find that whenever I knock at the door, trying to say that I'm here, I'm Imam Sani from Wafron Moses, say, So I think my role, first of all, is connect, and to give more credit, more trust, and more seriousness to the program, and to be accepted by the local communities, because we are trying not to go against the culture or against the tradition or against the religious teachings. We are trying our best not to go against that. So I give them my own advice. So I work like, somebody who is advising them, don't do this, do that, don't go there, go here. This is it.
And now you just came back from these meetings in Zamfara state, right? Would you be able to say a little more about what those meetings were and what how did it go? First of all.
Good. So what happens is that when we see the Benue state is vibrating, the Makban and Afan marriage works stronger and the relationship is going stronger. And right now they are working in some local governments trying to do advocacy visits with the support of the security agencies, with the support of local and state government, and with the working together jointly by Afan and Makban leadership in Benue State.
Right.
So then we said that, okay, let us sensitize Kaduna and Zamfara to start doing the same, so that as Benue is vibrating, we hear this vibration, which is bringing about positivities in the state. So I attended the second meeting, and my going there, I went to represent Karuna Center for Peacebuilding as a consultant, but again, to tell them that Karuna Center is working hand in hand with NIM Foundation. So they are partnering with NIM Foundation to see that these good things are happening. So I told them the mission, and I told them that we need to see Makban and Afan working together jointly and physically addressing the issues of farmer-herders conflict for two reasons. Reason number one, it is a season of harvesting. In northern Nigeria, it is crops harvesting time. So during the crops harvesting time, most of conflict between farmers and herders take place there. So we say we are here in order to forestall any escalated conflict between you One. Number two, electioneering campaigns are getting harder and harder, hotter and hotter. And the election in Nigeria remains just 2 months. In February, we will have our general elections, which will include the presidential election, the gubernatorial elections, the senatorial elections, and so on and so on. So whenever there is election, we understand from the history and from the experience that some politicians capitalize on conflict between herder and farmers to use it to achieve their political ends. Then I told them that so we are here to tell you, please be careful and work together closer. Don't give room, don't give a crack for politicians to use you and escalate the conflict between you. And at the same time, don't allow the harvesting period to be used in escalating the conflict between you.
Mhm.
So they ask critical questions. A member of AFAN, that is All Farmers Association of Nigeria, he said, Imam Sani, thank you for coming and thank you for bringing this closer. And we are happy to discover that some of our Islamic scholars here are your friends and your schoolmates. So with that, we must respect you being an Imam. However, I will want to ask a critical question. To me, it is critical. Tell me how different this your mission will be from other missions that came before you. There were missions like this before you. They bring Makman together, or they bring Afan, and they talk to them about peace building and conflict prevention and what have you. And then when they go, then it is finished. That's all. Nothing continues. Then I said, thank you so much for asking this genuine question out of honest curiosity.
Yeah.
I told him that yes, the difference between what we come to do here and others is we are here to support you, to build your capacity, to give you some training in reflective structured dialogue on how to resolve your conflict between you as farmers and as herders without the hands of anybody outside. So we want to build your capacity. We want to put you through. We want to connect you to the government. We connect you to the traditional leaders. We connect you to the religious leaders so that they can give you their own support in addressing your farmer-herders conflict. However, we want you to have the ownership, to take the ownership of this process. So when we go, it will not stop. If you really, really mean to bring peace in your state, so our going away will not mean anything. So all we want to see is to see that you master RSD in resolving or in addressing or in dialoguing about your issues. So if you master this, then we say, okay, bye-bye, we go, and we know that we gave you the capital that if you invest very well, then peace will come trend between farmers and herders in Zamfara state. And again, we want the women and youths to regain their rights, because women should not be excommunicated or to be, I mean, women should be involved in peace building and conflict prevention. Also, the youths, we need to use them. So we are here to see to it that women are involved in peace building, youths are involved in peace building, and then you create your own ways of how to handle your issues by yourself. So it is not that NIM or Karuna are going to stay here and remain forever. No, 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 no. NIM and Karuna are working together to give you capacity so that later on you can continue with yourself. Then he said, oh my God, this is wonderful. So with this, we know that you are, yeah, he said that, yeah, we know that your own is different because you are on, you said that you want to make us do it by ourselves, to have the ownership, not as those who come and say they have the skills, they will do the facilitation, they will teach us this, I mean, they will do this, do that. And then when they go, we don't have the skills, we don't know nothing. But now we are understanding that you are going to give us the skills. So you are not here to give us the fish to eat, but you are here to coach us on how to do the fishing by ourselves and to get the fish to be eaten instead of you bringing the fish to eat by ourselves. This is one of the things that we addressed during that meeting. And let me tell you, an RSD policy or RSD system
Right.
was used to conduct that meeting. So we have
It's the dialogue,
opening,
the reflective
yes,
structured dialogue.
yes. So we had opening questions, we had go around, and then after that, we go to connected conversation. So during the connected conversation, that is why we see the wonder and the magic of RSD. Because the leaders of MACBAN, they open up, they said the truth. They said that we know among our youth, we have those that are intolerant, those that they don't hear, no, they don't understand. They have less education in terms of Western or religious education. Their own proper upbringing is not also, and it's in the way that it should be. So we want you, the AFAN, to agree that we have youths that don't hear words. If you talk to them, they don't hear. So we need to work together to address them. But you also, we want to hear from you. Do you have such youths that also can be agents of distractions as we have? If yes, then it is time for us to join hands together to see how we can sensitize, how we can educate, how we can create awareness to our youths on how to behave well and not to take law into their hands whenever the issues of conflict or issues of farmer herders conflict arise. So I'm sure during the connected conversation, so many good things came up from the AFAN's leadership and from the MACBAN's leadership. But being Friday, uh, we were uh, we were compelled to close without finishing taking the recommendations from them and without finishing the action plans. Because during the action plan, we want them to bring out how to jointly visit the governor, jointly visit the chairman of local government, jointly visit the traditional leaders, jointly visit the religious leaders to show them what they are doing as Makban and Afan and to ask them to support them and to bless them. We did not finish the action plans and we did not finish taking from them the recommendations.
Was when you were talking about the women and youth being more involved now than they were before.
Correct. That's correct.
Yeah. Is that partially a result of some of the community work that's been happening with Neem Foundation outreach?
Yes. Of course, yes. Of course, yes. The work that we do in the selected communities, there is where we started. In fact, women came, but they don't talk. In the initial stage, women attend, but they keep quiet from the beginning to the end. But we devise ways of intimidating them positively to talk. And we know they were hiding under some misconception of Islamic teachings that show as if women should not talk in the presence of men, or women should always keep quiet, or women should feel as if they are second class or they can remain isolated, something like that. So we tried to bring this out and we address them religiously to show them that no way Islam has never said that women should not talk or should not participate or should not be involved in this. So we continued, opening their eyes, sensitizing them, educating them, creating awareness in them to show them that yes, this your culture or your tendency of keeping quiet is from culture and tradition, not from Islamic teaching. And if Islam is not frowning at it, please be free and talk. Now we find that women can talk even over radio. In radio, you can hear women talking in our POCI activities. So, but before then, they can't do it. So yes, it is as a result of the work we do that they come up now to speak. And even during that meeting, come and see how women, that just 2 days ago, on that Friday, come and see how women from Afan and Makban are participating. Very surprised. So I think I will ask the multimedia person to share with us the video, which he did a video coverage. You will see how women are contributing and interacting, which they were not doing before. Wow. So yes, the answer is yes. They do this as a result of the awareness created in them by the POCI activities.
Mhm. Yeah. So on the one hand, you're networking among government officials, among the leaders of statewide associations, and at the same time, this work is also being built from the bottom up, from the ground up, is what it sounds like.
What we do is we are hybriding in the sense that as we talk to the local community members, as we want to bring them to our training workshops, we seek the blessings and the consent of their leaders.
Mhm.
In every place we do advocacy. We do advocacy visits to traditional leaders, religious leaders, or community leaders, so that they will understand our mission. When they understand the mission, they bless us. They say, go and do it, no problem. So when we go and gather the locals respect us because they know we are with them with the consent of their leaders. We are with them because their leaders accepted us. So it's like we are hybriding. So it is top, bottom, bottom, top. That is how I look at it at the same time. Yeah.
Exactly.
Let me tell you one thing. Our people, when I say our people, I mean the Makban and Apan leadership, they are educated. Among them are Islamic scholars. They sound very well. And among them are those who are community leaders. And they have high level of Western education, including the women. One of the women has 2 degrees, one
Right.
degree in what, and second degree in another thing. So they are educated. Let me tell you, they talk, they open up, they blame the government.
Mhm.
They blame the government by saying that, which we will give you in our report later. But here they say there is negligence from the side of the government.
Mhm.
Whenever culprits of any conflict are apprehended and handed over to the government, they don't take law on them. I mean, justice is not taking its course on them. So after a few days, you'll see them released. So they say, we want you to give us the capacity so that we can pay a courtesy call to the governor and we will tell him this bitter truth that we know of many things that are happening, but the government is not taking action on them. So they talked about bad governance. They talk about crippled democracy, which is not a very, they say that our democracy is crippled, is not going the way it should go. They talked, openly, honestly, and I just love being with them. So what I'm saying, people, but at the same time, they blame themselves. They say, yes, we have our own quota of blame that we must take. Some of our youths are not well trained. Some of our youths are used as agents of destruction. Some of them are used for political thuggery and so on and so on. So we admit this. And we admit that some of our cows will enter the farm and, destroy farm produce. And when the farmer talk to them, they pounce on him, or they may even fight him, or they kill him. They admit this. The Makban admit that they have this kind of thing. The Afan also, they admit that yes, some of their farmers take law into their hands whenever cows or cattle get into their farms. So they admit that they have their own portion of blame, but at least they say the greater blame should go to the government. And then we say, okay, if this is the case, now that we iron out some blames or some discrepancies that need to be addressed, then in our later programs, we'll know how to address this on radio and television and in other public places and during our courtesy calls or advocacy calls to visit to the leaders. So I think I'm just very happy for being with them. So I will go with them to do the last leg. Then from there, we'll just teleguide them from far. So I will just go physically once and for all. And then as I used to go to Benue, and when Benue are on their feet, now I say, you can continue. I don't have to necessarily be there. So now back to Kaduna, which is my home, I am trying to see that Kaduna is vibrating as Benue is vibrating, and as Zamfara will start vibrating soon. Yeah.